Okay, girls, we're going to be starting Perek Chet today in Bava, and I took a picture of a Mishnah in a program that I have, and just wanted to introduce you to what exactly we're looking for. So at the top right here, it says that we're learning Bava. It also says that we're learning Perek Chet in Nezikin, which means damages, and over here it says Perek Chet. This is where we're going to be learning. And it says over here that we're on Mishnah Aleph. Now this entire middle section over here is the Mishnah. On the right-hand side is commentaries, and we're actually going to be going through those as time goes on. But this is stage 3 of our learning of the Mishnah, so we're going to be mostly concentrating on the Mishnah, and we'll be getting to the commentaries as time goes on, probably in about a month and a half. Okay, so let's begin. Hachovel b'chaviro chayav alav mishum chamisha devarim. So the Mishnah begins. Hachovel means someone who injures. So someone who injures b'chaviro, chaver, his friend, chayav is responsible, alav, on him, mishum chamisha devarim. 5 different things he's going to be responsible for. So we have our guy here who is injured. So what 5 things are you going to be responsible to pay? Now, there are a few that are obvious. Obviously, you have to pay for his injuries. If you're responsible and you hurt someone, you have to pay for his doctor bills. But what are the other ones? So let's look at the Mishnah as it continues. So let's zoom in here to the next part of the Mishnah. Okay, that's good. So the 5 things are as follows. Number 1, benezek. Number 2, bitsa'ar. Number 3, beripui. Number 4, bashevet. And number 5, biboshet. So we have 5 things. Nezek, tsar, ripui, shevet, and boshet. So here we have our 5 things. We have nezek, tsar, shevet, boshet, ripui. It's actually in this order: ripui, shevet, and boshet. Okay, so we have to define what exactly these 5 things are. Nezek means damages. We all know that. Damages means things that you injure. You have to pay for his doctor bills. You have to pay for things that are very, very much related to his damage. Now, we have to define how exactly do you determine how much it was. Do you go to a doctor? Do you estimate? So the Mishnah actually tells us this. If we look back inside the Mishnah, right here, Sima es eno. Let's say you knocked out his eye. Kata es yado. You chopped off his hand. Shabor es raglo. You broke his foot. Ro'ino to. You look at him. Ki'ilu hu eved. Just like he's a slave. Nimkar bashuk. That is being sold in the marketplace. Vishamin. And you evaluate. Kama haya yafeh. V'kama hu yafeh. You determine how much he was worth versus how much he is worth now. If he was worth $100 before, and now he's worth $50, then you caused $50 worth of damage, and you have to pay him $50. The next one we're going to deal with is tsa'ar. Tsa'ar means pain. Okay? How much do you pay for the pain the guy went through? So looking at the Mishnah, tsa'ar, pain, ko'o b'shipud o b'misamer. So let's say you burnt him. The way to figure out how much you have to pay, and the Mishnah says that the way you figure it out is to evaluate how much a person would pay or would make you pay in order to do that to him. So for example, let's say someone came up to you and said, how much would I have to give you to cut you on your hand? And apparently there would be a way to evaluate that amount of pain, and someone would say, I'm not doing it unless you pay me $2,000. So the pain would be $2,000. So far you'd owe him $2,000 for the pain, and you'd owe him $100 for the damage and the medical bills or something like that. The next category is ripui. Ripui means health. So anything that is going to be health-related that comes about after the injury, you'd have to pay for as well. If it's additional medical bills and surgeries that need to occur after the damage is already done, you would have to pay for that as well. Number 4 is shevet. Shevet means loss of time. Now, what loss of time means is, let's say you are a doctor, and as a doctor, you rely on your hands. And all of a sudden now, you can't use your hands because one of your hand is incredibly injured. It's broken. So you can't go to work for 1 month. So any money you would have been paid that you now cannot get because of your injury, he would also owe you. The last and fifth one is boshet. Boshet means embarrassment. I'm going to go all over the line here. Embarrassment. Now, embarrassment is a difficult one because you are not sure exactly how to value the embarrassment. If someone is injured in an embarrassing way, how do you value how much that the other person would have to pay for? And it's not so clear, and the Meforshim actually explain this. But either way, there are 5 different ones. The first one is nezek, which means damages. The second one is pain, tsa'ar. The third one is ripui, which means health-related bills. The fourth one is loss of time, that he cannot work because of his injury. And the last but not least is boshet, is embarrassment. So you have a lot of things you need to pay for. So if you think of an example of a person who breaks someone's foot, and this guy used to walk to work every single day. So number 1, you're going to have to pay him for his broken foot. Number 2, you're going to have to pay him for the pain that he went through in order to have that. Number 3, you have to pay him for his health bills. Number 4, you have to pay for all the missing time he had to go to doctor appointments, he had to not walk to his work, all the cabs he had to pay for, everything that because of your injury changed things. The last thing is the embarrassment. If he had embarrassment that was because of his broken foot, you'd have to pay for that as well. So it's not as simple as it actually seems at all. Okay, now what we're going to do right now is I would like you to try to read this Mishnah and make and explain everything yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this picture of the text to Schoology. And I want to see if you can do something similar to what I just did. Don't copy what I did. Make it your own. But go through the Mishnah, go through the beginning of the Mishnah, all the way until right here. So basically just the introduction to the Mishnah, and only go to this point right here. So you're going to read the beginning, you're going to read the 5 different ones, nezek, tsa'ar, ripoi, shevet, boshet, and oh, actually, I'm sorry. You're actually going to go until here. Boshet, right there, period. And explain what they are as you go on. Use some pictures, use some drawings, and let's see how good you can do. So let's see how long it takes you, and we'll talk in a few moments together.